This is KTS, and this is Kal Kat, having returned from the premiere of Star Wars The Force Awakens. This video will not have spoilers. I will do another comprehensive review of this movie. After Mark's Cards has seen it, we will both do a comprehensive review spoiling it. But that will be a month from now, after it's already played out, or next year, in 2016. Early 2016 will be when we next see Mark's Cards. This is near the end of this season. And yeah, so we are watching a spoiler-free review of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yes, Star Trek The Force Awakens. Okay, Disney has taken the reins of the George Lucas project story of Star Wars and decided to conjure out Episode 7, 8, and 9 of the Skywalker saga continuing. Episode 7 had an interesting premise in that which wasn't mentioned on Stone Gremlin's review that I just watched some of. The interesting premise that after Return of the Jedi, which everybody kind of figured, the rebellion really couldn't have taken the whole galaxy back. That wouldn't work. So what would happen if all those splinter factions just kind of went off and did their own thing? Like the end of the Soviet Union, when all the states flew off and did their own thing. It would be kind of a mess. And that's basically the premise of where this story begins 30 years later. Luke Skywalker has disappeared and they have to go look for him. We have, spoiler-free, this review. We have Ren, who is sort of the new version of Leia on the planet. On this planet that's a little like Tatooine, but it's called Jakku. She is a scavenger, kind of like Han Solo was. The Force Awakens. There's a group called the bad guy group. It's called the First Order, and that's not based on the Timothy Zahn books. It's more based on the video games. So they've gotten some of the video games together, some of which were Scott Boyd from the church, which is cool. He should totally be into this movie. So I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but some of his stuff was in there. Hey. But yeah, there was of course there's a new bad guy that's called Smote, and he's played by Andy Serkis. There's another new bad guy played by Adam Driver, who is following the footsteps of Darth Vader. And that's all in the trailer, so you figure that out. I'm not going to give away anything. So, yeah, and Han Solo and Chewie are in it. That's not giving away anything because that's in the trailer too. And basically, Han and Chewie stumble across Rey's smuggler ship that's in a junkyard through a series of events. Yes. Well, Jakku is under attack by the First Order, the new bad guys. And there's a rebellion that's still going on, a resistance. And basically we have a stormtrooper who defects because I guess the Force got to him. It's kind of unclear. The new Darth Vader protege guy is apparently kind of a hothead, and he's running around like freaking out and like jacking up his own people and stuff. Very anime-like, reminiscent of like Chiron from Robotech in a way. But yeah, and several other people. But I guess the Jedi in this version have more psychokinetic and telekinetic powers. It's more defined, but they don't mention midichlorians. That's a good thing. No Jar Jar Binks either. And the scavenger girl meets up with the stormtrooper after he crashes on a planet, helped out by a fighter pilot later shows up. Poe Dameron. I got some strange names. At least none of them are offensive this time around. But then Poe and Finn. Finn is the African American or black dude, and they were like, "Oh wow, that's really different." There was a black guy. Yeah, but there was a black guy in Empire. So yeah, Lando. Forgot about him. I guess you guys. Anyway. But yeah, this one, it's not Lando's kid. I don't think they did that. But somebody is somebody's kid. You got to figure it out. Yeah, so but there's the the First Order attacking the planet, and then they've built into the new Star Destroyers and crashed some, and I guess it was in a previous war during the main battle. And basically, the two heroes, the girl with the British accent and the black guy, have to get back to a ship to get off the planet. And they come across a junkyard. And in the junkyard is a very special ship. We won't give it away. And eventually Han and Chewie get said special ship back from them, but they ally together to stop the bad guys. That's not giving away anything. That's basically a Star Wars trope. I can't really go on to too much more of it. Leia is in it, but yes. And Han is in it. And I don't want to give away too much because at this point, there would be spoilers. I don't want to give any spoilers. So they have to find Luke's lightsaber, and then they have to find Luke. And although they kept saying in some of the previews, his metal hand is like there too and stuff, I don't think it actually was. That was a scene from the trailer where there was a hand on R2. That was actually a dream sequence in that scene, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I don't want to give nothing away. So I did get a free screening to the movie. Well, it wasn't free; I had to pay for it. But somebody had 2 extra tickets this morning. I was going to go and see if I could use my ticket to go see this morning anyway, because apparently they opened an extra theater at the local theater because all of the other ones had sold and they were selling out fast. Even though they said everything was sold out like weeks ago, apparently they decided, okay, we're going to pull 2 or 3 other movies out of our theater and open 2 of them so some people can see the Star Wars movie this weekend. We're gonna just have it on 5 screens and just go. So they did this, and that enabled more people to get into Star Wars. So somebody had 2 extra tickets. It was early show, early bird, advanced tickets, and I happened to be sitting next to a Doctor Who fan who had his own blog and website and thing, and he was a frequent attender of our former. We had a Black Cat Comics, which used to be Brian's Books. And it moved down the street, and he goes there now that it's down the street closer to him all the time. And he was talking to these girls and trying to pick up on them and stuff. But yeah, and talking to them about how awesome Doctor Who was. He mainly was a Doctor Who fan, and there of course is 1 or 2 characters from Doctor Who in this movie, as well as some characters from Game of Thrones and other stuff. I have not seen Game of Thrones, and I haven't really watched any of Doctor Who in years, so I don't know anything. But Mark's Cards knows all about that. But I saw 2 or 3 episodes of the season where they went to visit Shakespeare or something. I think that was 2 years ago, but that's it. So yeah, this is the new continuity. But the Star Wars movie as a reboot, they should have done. Maybe Abrams can go back and fix the prequels. They're also going to do another Star Wars movie that doesn't have forces and Jedi. It's just the rebels going after the Death Star plans at some point next year, while you wait for the premiere of Part 8 of this thing. I'm not sure why they're going to do a prequel there, but a different kind of prequel set during the other movies, and why they've decided to do a rogue prequel. Yeah, whatever. But but yeah, was it good? Spoiler free. Yeah, I think it was good. I think it worked. I think there's some reveals in it the fans didn't really but all of the points were hit on the right scale. There was a consensus with 2 or 3 of us in the theater as it ended that Abrams is definitely more suited to Star Wars than Star Trek. But the curious irony is that this movie, like Mark's Cards had predicted back in 2013 and in 2014 when he acquired the Star Wars brand, was that he said that he's probably going to make Star Wars seem more like Star Trek. And this movie has better character and story development in it than Star Trek Into Darkness. Not the first one necessarily, but Into Darkness. This is a better story than Into Darkness. And it probably helps that Damon Lindelof was not involved in the writing of this movie. Just saying. And the new Star Trek movie might help from not having him on that one either. Yep. So yeah, Lawrence Kasdan helped with this one. There were a lot of callbacks to the original. Well, I can't give anything away though, so that's it. That's my Force Awakens. Go and see it in theaters with an audience that's all jazzed up and enthusiastic about it. Definitely the kind of theatrical thing you got to see in theaters. Don't wait. Go see it. There will be theaters opening up everywhere to go and see it. What it was all the 3D stuff was sold out, but not the 2D stuff. I don't need to see the 3D one anyway. But yeah, The Force Awakens has revitalized the Star Wars franchise, and there was some sneak preview stuff when we were at Disneyland, involving some of the rides in the park. One of which they're going to build the sort of set that was seen in the movie for the exhibit. It's going to have the Millennium Falcon. Interestingly enough, they blew up part of the set in the movie. So Disneyland will have a piece of the set that got blown up. But yeah, but you can see that in the trailer too. So I'm not spoiling anything. Yeah. So there you go. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Star Trek: The Force Awakens. And TFA is the same initials as the fictional adventures, the outvoted series that one of my On Location series. So they've used the initials for their movie. Cool. So yes, yeah. Also, when you go to see The Force Awakens, look for the Kal Kat, because he's in there. Well, I wasn't in it, but there's a guy that looks kind of like me in it. It's funny. Just like I wasn't in the Peter Jackson Hobbit movies, yet I'm in the credits because there was another guy with my name. Yeah. And there was a guy that looked like me in the last scene, in the crowd scene. In this one, the guy's in there too. Also, there's a guy that looks like John Cho, but I don't think it is. But yeah, so The Force Awakens. Yeah. A little brief thingy before we do another review later and completely spoil it. Greetings once again. This is The Force Awakens. I'm still not going to give any spoilers, actually. This is a second little brief interview look at The Force Awakens. I reviewed it briefly on here before. I'm going to put both reviews up. This is spoiler-free as well. I went to the other showing. This was the official showing that I was supposed to go to. Yesterday I got to go for the opening day. But today this was the official one. With all the cast of various other casts. I was not one of them. I was a guest on the set. So, not on the set, but in the theater. And I sat there for an hour until everybody was an hour early. Everybody got in, and this audience was a little uneasy right away, because some rumors had been spread in the new stuff. So we won't go there. But yeah. So, but they did eventually come in, and pretty much it was a full house when the event actually started. And yeah, some people sat down and said, "Oh, how come it's almost an empty theater like an hour beforehand and everything?" And I pointed out to them, they opened 2 extra theaters because it's a 10 screen. They basically kicked all the Bollywood movies out of the theater and said, "Okay, this weekend Star Wars, we want everybody to get in the seats." So we kicked these other 2 movies out. Star Wars. So yeah, that's why there were empty seats, because nobody thought there were other 2 theaters. So it was good. So they had other showings. They had like 5 of the screens open. More than that, I think. So yeah. So yeah, The Force Awakens. I can't give away any spoilers. It takes place 30 years after the Return of the Jedi. Yep, no spoilers. And yeah, so Rey is apparently this scavenger girl on the planet, and Finn and Poe are. Finn is a former stormtrooper, and he has a crisis of conscience, and he crash lands on the planet. And Poe, and then later on, yeah, he has a crisis of conscience. Goes back up to the ship. There's Poe Dameron's the hero guy. He shows up. They both escape the ship. They crash together on the planet, but then they get separated. Then he meets up with the girl. Kind of already talked about that already. Luke is missing. They got to go find him. Han and Leia are in it. They will eventually come together to help the other new characters get where they're going. And yes, there is a new big freaking gun in the movie. So yeah, there definitely is. But that doesn't give away anything because you can see that from the preview too. And yeah, so they have a new weapon, which I'm sure we will discuss in detail when Mark's cards and I, by the time he has seen it, probably has seen it by now, but by the time he's seen it, and then we both will review the movie extensively, all the spoilers and everything. But we have not done that yet. This is just the Kal Kat one. So I've seen it. I'm not giving anything away. And yeah, so there's a bad guy in it named Kylo Ren, who is a protege of this dude called Snoke. And he is this giant. He's probably not going to turn out to be giant, but he looks giant-sized in the movie, to make him look scarier. And he is a Sith, and he apparently wants this guy to be his apprentice, but he isn't quite there, which is why his lightsaber is red, and it looks funny, and it has that little trident blade and everything. Because he's just not very good. And apparently he's not giving anything away, he was apparently a fallen Jedi, which is funny. I'm not giving anything away, though. But yeah, and now he's gone to the dark side. So yeah, anyway, I can't say anything more about the movie. But yeah, and it's curious that he's running this First Order, which is a sort of a spin-off of the Sith version of the Empire that split off. You figured their nations would split off. And the Republic is still around, but it's changed from the Empire to Republic again. And it's the New Republic, and the Millennium Falcon is in the movie. Yes, that's not a spoiler. Yes, you'll find out why. We don't want to give it. That's one of the funniest lines in the movie. So we don't want to give that away. Where they find that. Yeah. So I can't really say anything more about it. But yeah, go and see Star Wars: The Force Awakens in theaters, and yeah, so see it in theaters. If you can see 3D, see it in 3D. I saw the 2 in 2D. And there, The Force Awakens, the Star Wars movie. Go see it. This is Kal Kat, and yeah. So. They did show a trailer for Star Trek, the new movie, Star Trek Beyond. And that trailer for Star Trek Beyond looks like the Silly Trek movie that's coming out. It looks like Kamara. So that's kind of awesome. So Simon Pegg is using the discarded story where we were going to have them on a planet in a crashed ship and stuff, and they're using that one, which is why we're not using that one in the upcoming Star Trek Chimera movie or in the upcoming series that will follow in September. Yes, the movie Star Trek Chimera will be out in the summer of 2016, early summer, late spring. There will be Mark's Cards has greenlit making a teaser trailer, an official this time teaser trailer for 2016 for the movie miniseries. The teaser trailer will have to film some of the effects first in order to put it together. But yeah, we'll do some preliminary effects and put together a trailer for your Valentine to the fans for Chimera. And now, yes, that'll be in February 2016, and the movie will be out by the weekend, Labor Day weekend, when we do our Chimera movie will be out officially by the weekend we do Bacon and Family. It'll be completely done and out, and there will be an announcement for the series after that, which will only be months away in September. It looks like I am going to be the director of the series pilot, And yeah, Mark Scards is incredibly busy, so we may only get him for the remainder of this movie. We'll see. Get him for more, but the remainder of this movie and then on to the pilot. And he might have just some cameos in the pilot episode of the series. But we'll see how well the movie does. Now, on to Star Wars. Force Awakens, and also the, so I could talk about the Robotech thing too, which is also coming out. There was no trailer for that, but apparently Kal Kat, Silly Kelly and Clint Cowpoke have directed, mainly Clint Cowpoke, but then Silly Kelly went back and reshot a bunch of it. The Robotech, The Endless Circle motion picture is coming out momentarily as well on YouTube. So you'll have to check that out as well for your holiday enjoyment before all the other stuff comes out in 2016. So you'll get that early. And now, and they showed a trailer for The Winter Soldier with Captain America, which was cool. They showed a trailer for Magical Beasts and How to Care for Them, the Harry Potter prequel. They showed that, which was interesting. And a bunch of other stuff the crowd reacted to. Oh yes, The Fifth Wave, yet another young adult fiction thing. Starring Chloe Moritz, the future star of Distant Destinies. She will be playing in the movie. If they ever make a movie, she will be Arlene Benton, the main female protagonist. Well, by the time they make that, she'll be old enough to be that character. Because, they won't really be doing a Distant Destinies movie yet. I'm just kidding. But if they did, they would cast her. I totally would. If I could afford an actress that expensive, which I can't. So I'm just kidding. But on to Star Wars. May the farce be with you. No, wait a minute. Now, I did find the blinky light. I wanted to bring this to the theater and drive them all crazy. Now, waiter, you will bend over. And on the way home, I was making in the car to myself. I was making up jokes about what love Han and Chewie had for each other. Yes, you've probably seen that online now. Anyway, Han and Chewie. Oh my, Chewie. You're my first and only love, Chewie. Yes, it's true, Chewie. I love you.